Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars, welcome to another PlayStation review. Today's review is Spellforce 3 Reforced on the PlayStation 5. Now Spellforce 3 Reforced is something of a hybrid of a game. It is a top-down isometric RPG that is crossed effectively with a real-time strategy game as well. Now, essentially, I'll go through initially what you get with this game. Now, I picked up the standard edition. However, there are a couple of pieces of DLC that become available with that at $15.99 each. And both claim to be 20 hours in length each, which do sound like good value. There is also a complete edition that you pick up that I'm assuming those DLCs will be a part of that I mentioned. I picked up the standard edition. What I generally do with games like this is pick up the standard editions, and if it's a game that resonates with me, I wait until the DLC comes up in a sale and then I pick that up as well. So you've got a few different options on how to play this game, really, a few different modes. There is a campaign mode that you can play solo or cooperatively with a friend. There's like you can create like mercenaries that you can then join a friend's cooperative game with, or you can even, once you've created these mercenaries, you can recruit them to join you in your solo adventure. There is a skirmish mode. It's got some modes within it. It's like a versus mode, and there's like a custom mode, so you can kind of create what kind of skirmish you want to do. There's a journey mode, which is like a series of maps where you can create a character and like head out on a journey on these maps and look to make yourself a bit stronger and all that kind of stuff. And there's even an arena mode as well. So there's quite a lot here to really get you into this game. Lots of different modes to try out. Now, I'll be really honest here, guys. Mainly due to time constraints, I haven't really tried out any of the other modes other than the campaign mode. And I have to say, I'm pretty hooked here on this game, certainly the campaign mode. Now, this is a game I was aware of, obviously. I knew it, I'd seen it in like the pre-order store. I didn't know an awful lot about it. I've not played any of the other Spellforce games. And initially, it didn't really look that interesting to me. And then when it was released, I looked at a couple of videos on it, and I thought, you know what, this actually might be a really good game for me. And I have to say, guys, this has kind of been a really good game. I've been really enjoying my time with it. I haven't completed it yet. It's really quite a lengthy game. I mean, it says everything that the DLC is like 20 hours each, so you can guess how long it's going to take to kind of finish the campaign here. I think I'm about 30 hours into it, and it feels like I've got some way to go. But I wanted to get some kind of review up for you guys to give you some kind of my impressions of the game. 30 hours in, because generally speaking, I've kind of seen all the mechanics and things like that. And at this point in the game, it's like the story and the new fresh enemies that are kind of keeping me going. But I understand completely how to play the game, if that makes sense. Now, in regards to how the game looks, I actually think it looks really quite beautiful. Now, this isn't a AAA game or anything. I think I paid $34.99 for this. But I have to say, I do think, for the most part, this game looks absolutely gorgeous. The environments look lush and green, and it's quite varied in its approach to the environments. The enemies look great. You can zoom into the characters quite a lot, so that you can see quite good detail on the characters. The only issue I think with the game in regards to its performance is it's quite glitchy quite a lot. There's like, it kind of glitches out a bit, and there's like this lighting that flashes up on the screen. It's almost like the screen's tearing at the corner, and it does it quite a lot and quite consistently, and it is a little bit off-putting. So I'm hoping that they will provide a patch that will deal with that fairly quickly. But you can see it there. It just popped up there on the screen then. That happens quite a lot in the game. It happens in the menus as well, and I'm not really sure what the issue is, but hopefully they will give us a patch to kind of get rid of all that. So for me, I think the game looks really quite impressive. In regards to the sound, I think the music is really great and very, very immersive, good quality, and the whole game is voice acted, and I have to be honest, I think the voice acting is of a really, really good quality. And there's actually, at the beginning of the game, you will recognise one of the voices if you are a fan of the Witcher games, because Doug Cockle, who voices Geralt, is one of the most prominent voices, certainly in the early parts of the game, which was a little bit off-putting initially, because it just sounded like Geralt to me. Now, in regards to the story here, now it takes a little bit to get into the game because there's quite a reasonably lengthy prologue, and then once you get past that prologue, there is like almost like a second prologue. Almost, you get to then create your character, and you go into the game, and you're like one of the captain's guard type of thing, and you go off with the Doug Cockle character. Because there has been like a disease reported in one of the local villages, and you've got to go and try and investigate and find out what it is. And as a result of your actions, you end up then getting imprisoned and sentenced to execution, and you escape from prison, head out into the world, and the game really starts from that point. So it's kind of structured in a certain way, this game. There's like heavy story elements, there's lots of discussions with characters, and you can make choices in regards to when you're having discussions. It gives you like a few options, very much like Mass Effect sort of thing. So it's quite heavy on story and things like that. So you'll do like a story mission, there's lots of side missions and things like that as well, and then you'll head out onto like a map. And then once you're on this map and you've done a little bit of exploring, and then you get like your missions given to you, it then becomes like the real-time strategy element of the game. Because initially you might just have 2 or 3 people in your party, a couple of companions and yourself, and then on the map you then need to do something specific. You need a stronger force, a stronger army, to either break into a castle, break down some walls, defeat an army, whatever it may be. So you've then got to kind of build up your strength and build up your forces. So you head around the map, you then take over certain points on that map, beat the enemies, and then take over that certain point, very much like a traditional real-time strategy game. And then you will build, like stonemakers, hunting cabins, barracks, a whole array of different buildings you'll need to build to kind of build up your presence in the area and your strength in the area. And then you can then build and recruit new people into your army, soldiers, archers, all that kind of stuff, and more become unlocked as you progress through the game. More options in regards to what you can build in your villages and what kind of soldiers and things you can build as well from the barracks and things like that. And then once you've got enough strength up, then you can then choose to take on like the main quest in that map area that requires you to have a stronger force to do it. Because if you just attack it with the 2 or 3 people in your party, you're going to get absolutely decimated because there's just too many and they're too powerful. So you need a stronger army to face that. And then once you've progressed from that map onto the next stage, then the armor that you created has dissipated, sort of thing, and then you and your companions will continue on with the story until you get to another point in the game where you need to kind of do that again and build up your armed forces and build up your presence on a new map and sort of thing. So I actually think it does a really brilliant job of blending the 2 genres, the RPG genre and the real-time strategy genre. It's nice and easy to pick up and play. You don't need to worry about the combat. You just point towards the enemy, click on them, and your army stroke soldiers will go and do the rest, and you can just sit and watch. However, you do have abilities that you can use in combat by various means. For example, where every time you level up, you get attributes points in things like strength, dexterity, intelligence, constitution, and willpower. And then you will put them in points in those areas to make yourself stronger in those areas. And then there's ability as well. As like an ability tree that you could put different points in to make yourself stronger and give yourself buffs in battle. And then you along the way on the game, you'll pick up new companions that will join your party, all that kind of stuff, and then you can level them up as you level yourself up as well on the game. There's loads of armor and weapons to pick up in the game. There's different sorts of companions. You've got your mages, you've got your knights, you've got your archers. There's a whole array of different people that you can add into your companion tree sort of thing. So it's actually a really involved game, and to be honest, I didn't expect to enjoy this game as much as I did, as much as I am, should I say. It's really good. I think the story is really good as well. It's really drawn me in as the story. I've got to know the character. I like the story. I like the way the game's set up, even though it takes 2 or 3 hours to really get into the game. But I think this, for the price point of this game as well, I think it is an absolute steal. However, I do think if it wasn't for the glitches, I would be scoring this one a little bit higher because of the glitching. It is a little bit off-putting. It does need a little bit of polish adding to it from the developers. So hopefully they'll give a patch. If it wasn't for the glitching, this would probably be an easy 9 out of 10 from me. As it stands, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you found it useful. I'll be back with more content on the channel very, very soon.